Hey guys, I'm Davina Palazzo and welcome to A Well-Nourished Life, where I share simple, healthy recipes and wellness tips. Today, we are making a high-protein dessert. It's a collagen tahini sea salt chocolate chip cookie. I love making this dessert. When I was actually making this recipe, I wore a glucose monitor and it actually shows that it was lowering my blood sugar levels. I was quite shocked with that. Of course, everyone's bodies are different, but that was a fun thing to play around with. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that you can have your cookies and not feel guilt or shame around it. Your blood sugar is gonna be fine. Let's get to making this. Okay, so for this collagen sea salt tahini chocolate chip cookies, you will need a few simple ingredients. You'll need almond flour, tahini. I like using this brand Artisana because it's organic and it just feels like it just has a really nice dense texture. It's not too watery. Yeah, I prefer it. We're gonna be adding collagen. I'm using Vital Proteins collagen. So this is why you're basically eating a protein shake as a cookie. You're welcome. I'm gonna add some maple syrup, some vanilla extract, baking soda. I have 2 pasture-raised eggs that I got from Vital Farms, a little bit of salt, and these are my favorite chocolate chips, Lily's. They're stevia based, so they don't have any added sugar to them, and they're just a really nice creamy texture and flavor. So just gonna take your bowl and start off with adding your almond flour. Just get that out in there. So that's 2 cups. And again, the recipe you can follow along on the website, www.davinapalazzo.com. I like to add in the dry ingredients first. So we're gonna add in the baking soda and then just like a pinch, just like a tiny little pinch of the salt, and mix that together. Now we're gonna get into the collagen. Gonna do about a 1/4 cup in there. Mix that together. Now we're adding the tahini. I love adding tahini to things. Tahini is incredible for female hormonal health, especially when you are on the last phase of your cycle, which is your luteal cycle. I always try to add in sesame and sunflower. So I'll always have like tahini on hand or like sunflower seed butter. It helps like balance out your hormones and it helps reduce any PMS symptoms for women. These are feel-good cookies. Now I'm gonna do 3/4 cup of maple syrup. Oh my gosh, this isn't open. Oh, first open your maple syrup, yeah. This is fresh bottle, okay, here we go. And the maple syrup in here, 3/4 cup, there we go, that's your, boom. And I know that seems like a lot of maple syrup, but maple syrup doesn't spike your glucose curves as much as refined sugars. And it's like with the amount of proteins in it, like with these eggs, yeah, that's why my glucose level did not spike when I was eating these cookies. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, okay. Some vanilla. Okay, now we just mix this all together. Mix, mix, mix. So I love baking, it's an arm workout. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking like, okay, this is supposed to be cookie dough. It doesn't feel like as dense as most cookie dough. Well, this is the thing. You can put it in the fridge for anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes. We're gonna put it in for 30 minutes. So of course, we're gonna add in the best part of this that also adds the sweetness, but these are stevia chocolates. Stevia is a natural sugar. I remember when I was living on a permaculture farm, we were growing stevia leaf. And so it's like a natural sweetener and it doesn't spike your glucose levels. I make a lot of recipes that are no refined sugar or are good for your blood sugar glucose levels because a majority of my family had diabetes, and it's kind of like I made it a game for me. It's like, hey, how can I still have them enjoy life and have sweet treats without their health taking a toll for it? So I think whether you have diabetes or anything like that, it's good for us all to just avoid sugar. That's the one thing that really does take a toll on our health. All right, so I don't try to eat too many raw eggs. Now this is good to go in the fridge. I'm gonna use I love these things, the 5-2, top it off, and then I'm just gonna put this in the fridge for anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. Literally, I've made this the night before, so you can do that, but I'm just gonna put it in the fridge for 10 minutes and then we'll hang around. And while that's in the fridge, we'll set our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so these have now been in the oven, or not the oven. These have now been in the fridge for about 20 minutes now, so let's see how they turn out. Completely different texture, look at that. And you guys might be worried about the texture being a little not cookie dough enough, but yeah, It does. This is perfect. What I'm gonna do now is line my baking sheets with parchment paper. And a little trick, you know, if your parchment paper is like blowing around or like cookies not sticking, here's what you do. Crumple it up. Yeah, see what I mean? That's why we do this. And now, this works for pies, for cake tins. Now it's steady, not like this, moving around. Eee, there you go. I got my cookie scooper and plopping these bad boys onto the baking sheet. I'm about to go see my little nieces today and they love these cookies. I love it because, you know, they're growing girls and it's like another added thing for extra protein for them. So I love when things are also healthy. And as I said, they're like low sugar. They did not spike my glucose levels at all. And so you can give them to kids and they are not even concerned about, you know, when kids get super hyped up on like sugar and all the other nonsense that's sometimes in desserts for children. Here is a clean treat for them. And thing is too, if you don't want to put in the collagen for the kids, that's totally fine. You can also do this without the collagen. So the collagen is optional. I like adding the extra collagen for myself personally because collagen is good for your hair, your skin, and your bone health. Yeah, the other day my friend just asked me, she's like, oh, what do you do for your skincare routine? And I do have that, which maybe we'll save for another video where I share that, but I was like, honestly, my skincare routine is from the inside out. Like, I'm eating these cookies and that's my skincare routine. And as I mentioned too, it's like there's tahini in it, which not only tahini, it creates like a nice rich flavor into it where sometimes people can't like put their finger on it. So they're like, why do these cookies, like there's like a taste to it that is like, it's so good and I can't figure out exactly what it is. It's the tahini. I love tahini, especially when I'm on my luteal phase. They help me balance out my hormones. It has all these like minerals that you need. And it's just also so delicious. They're like, it's not sweet. So it's a seed, but it kind of has like a nutty taste to it and a bit saltiness to it. So I love desserts that are sweet, but also like add salt. So that's why I love these cookies. It's all panned up now and they're ready to bake. And I'll be baking these for 12 minutes. But you know, I've cooked in a lot of kitchens, a lot of different kitchens for a lot of different people, different events, different retreats. I can tell you, not all ovens are created equal. So really get to know your oven, know how, if it runs more hot or if it doesn't get as hot, like really understand your oven because depending on that, you might need to adjust the timing to it. But I say like 12 minutes is usually the sweet spot with these. Let's go pop these in the oven. I already had the oven preheating at 350 while these were just doing its thing in the fridge. Okay, we're popping these in the oven now. It's at 350 and we're gonna pop them for 12 minutes. Here we go, bye-bye. 12 minutes. Okay, we chill for 12 minutes. Just patiently waiting for the cookies to be done. Beautiful. Done. You kind of gotta check on them. Okay, so these ones, because these were on the bottom, I'm actually gonna pop them in on the top shelf for just like 2 minutes. That's it. That's kind of the thing with baking. You gotta listen to it. Not every round is always the same. 12 to 14 minutes is like the sweet spot. But again, as I said, get to know your oven. If you're doing multiple pans, obviously like the top cooks a lot faster and hotter than the bottom shelf. So the bottom shelf one is now on the top shelf. We're gonna let that cook a little bit more, but these are perfect as you can see. They have like a nice brown, golden brown color to them. They're not ready to eat just yet. We're just gonna let this sit on the pan for like 10 minutes. Then we'll transfer it over to a cooling rack. In the meantime, we'll just let these cool. And how a lot of cookies and baking is just you do something and it's quick, but then you have to have the patience of having it do its thing, kind of like a garden. Let those chill. All right, yeah, these are a lot better. We're still gonna let them chill. Ooh, don't burn yourself. I'm like, I have so many like chefing tats from burning myself. Yeah, be very mindful in the kitchen. So again, we're just gonna let these chill, do their thing for like another 10 minutes on the pan. Don't try to even eat them. They won't even hold up. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I know, that was like the longest 10 minutes. At least it feels that way when you're making cookies, but It matters because now they're firmer, you can actually handle them. Honestly, it's impossible to eat cookies right out of the oven. You have to let it do its thing. So now that these are firmer, we're gonna add the key ingredient to it, which is the flaky sea salt. Just going to Salt Bae that on there. I don't know if you know that Salt Bae reference. I think that meme's about like 10 years old, so, but he's one of my favorites. I just love the sass that you put in the food and the saltiness. Now that that's salted, we're gonna transfer this over, I know, another 10-ish minutes. You can probably cut it down if you're impatient like me, but again, we're trying to practice patience here. Just gonna let that go on a cooling rack so that it can evenly cool off. And the 2 sheet pans will fit on typically 1 cooling rack, so. And these cookies, how the texture comes out is a little bit like gooey on the inside, so that's how I prefer it. If you do want them a little more, then feel free to cook this for a little bit longer, but I kind of like it when it's crispy on the outside and nice and gooey, cookie doughy in the inside. Now that we have been practicing patience and they've been cooling on the cooling rack, we're gonna just plate them so they're pretty for our friends and family and loved ones and whoever else we're gonna share this with. These are a high protein dessert. They're a collagen sea salt tahini chocolate chip cookies, completely dairy-free, gluten-free, and refined sugar-free. I know they look like simple chocolate chip cookies, but what I love about these most is that they're high in protein, they're good for your skin health, they're good for your hair, and they're also low in sugar. As I keep saying, they are low glycemic. That's very near and dear to me because I went on this whole mission with cooking to show that we can eat delicious food, even have food that seems a little naughty and it actually not affecting our health. So this is to a well-nourished life. I know we're doing almond on almond, but this is some almond milk. And try. They're so soft and gooey, but have like a crisp on top. They're perfect. If you try it out. If you enjoyed this recipe, you can follow it along on www.divinablazo.com. That'll be linked below. And if you want more simple, healthy recipes and wellness tips, subscribe and hit that like button, comment. There'll be more to come. Here's to a well-nourished life. Until next time, much love.